Welcome to the Parentless Daughter podcast. I am your host, Lauren or Lo. I cannot even begin to tell you how excited I am right now. I have been dreaming and wishing for this meetup. Like, I don't have words. Welcome, the biggest welcome, first off, to Miranda. Now, first off, you changed your name on Instagram
I
and
did.
threw me for a loop. So, welcome to the Dead Mom Therapist, right? We had a little
Yes,
name change. I
that's
love it.
me.
I love it. Also, okay, I have the funniest thing to tell you and to all of you. I don't know if I'm just like silly or what, but your old name was the mother loss therapist, right?
Yes.
Forever, I used to call it the motherless therapist.
It's funny you say that because my page started as my therapy practice
Mhm.
like 4 years ago. And I changed it to the mother loss therapist. And I was back and forth between do I do mother loss or motherless? I'm like, I am motherless, but I never really identified with that being motherless because I'm not. She's just dead.
Yep.
And then I was like, who am I helping? I'm helping those who suffered mother loss. So
Mm,
that's how I landed on it. But it's
I
funny that
love
you
it.
said that.
I looked at my partner one day and I was like, oh my God, it's not motherless, it's mother loss. I was like mind blown. Like, and this was like months. Like we had been in communication for months at this point. And then you changed your name and I was like, I've just finally learned your
Problem
actual name.
solved.
Yeah, seriously. Get rid of the name. Oh my gosh, too funny. Well, welcome. I am so excited to have you. You have been an account, a person, a comfort that I have just clinged to on Instagram.
Oh,
You
thank
are
you.
so lovely, and your posts, I resonate so much with everything that you talk about, and I absolutely adore you.
Thank you so much. That was
You as
like the best intro ever. Thank you.
it's how I truly feel, like honestly, like I every time I see you post, I just feel like you have reached into my brain and my heart and are like, here you go. Here it
I
is.
love that, honestly.
It's needed because it can be a very lonely and isolating experience, especially at our age, because we're also, for everyone to know, we're the exact same age. I think our birthdays are like 2 weeks apart
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
wild.
So to have someone else in my little pocket of someone who understands and who's lost a parent,
Hmm.
especially also young. I mean, I
Hmm.
was not as young as you, but being young, not many people understand that experience of not growing up with your biological mom in your
Hmm.
life.
Hmm.
So to have that, I am forever grateful for you.
Oh, I'm grateful for you too. I'm happy that you connected with me and that we formed the friendship that we have. It's great to just banter with other griefy folks on the internet.
It has saved my butt the last year, to be honest. I never knew how much I needed those connections
Hmm.
until my dad died. Like, truly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, it's, I'm so grateful. So, can you tell us a little bit about, first off, yourself, what you post about, what you do? Because what you post about has so much to do with, well, really everything, with what you also do for your day to day
Hmm.
job, right? So
Hmm.
tell us a little bit about you and
Yeah.
everything about you.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Miranda Malone. I am Dead Mom Therapist on socials, as Lo said, and I am the founder of the Dead Mom Club. My mom Rosalie died in a car accident when I was 5 months old, and she was just 19. And I became a clinical therapist and have been a therapist for 10 years. Um, and then when I got pregnant with my son when I was 30, it kind of just made me meet my grief in a way that I hadn't before because I didn't have the understanding. I didn't have the ability to conceptualize what it was that I lost when my mom died. And then having him kicked off this whole I need to nosedive into grief tending and to create a community, not just for women whose moms died, because there are other communities out there like that, but specifically for young women. So in their, mid 30s and under, who also lost mom young, because that's just a pocket in that space that I wasn't really seeing represented. And so that's how the Dead Mom Club was born. And I host monthly griever circles inside my community membership, along with expert workshops that I bring in expert guests for. I do intuitive guided regression workshops because I am also a certified hypnotherapist and past life regressionist. And now I'm a professional podcast guest, and all of the things. So everything I post on socials is a lot to do with my own grief, what it means to mother without my mom, become what I never had, as well as the spaces that I make for and curate for dead mom girlies around the world, which is really cool.
Honestly, round of applause, everybody, because this is something that I think we do not see enough of. And if there is this out there, it's not shared enough because when I lost my mom I was 8, but she died when I was 20. I went back to normal life and there were no groups, well, when I was 8, there was no social media. That was like not a thing because we're dinosaurs. Um, but when I was 20, there was social media, but nothing like this. Like it was so isolating. And to have someone like share your experience and be so, in tuned in particular for this age group, I think is something so unique and important because there's actually a lot of us out there who lost a mom young. And I
Millions.
think there is that difference. Yes, grief is grief, and there's not one more like painful than the other. It's
Hmm.
painful to lose a mom when you're 60, it's painful to lose a mom when you're 10.
Hmm.
They are different, and I think it's important to recognize the difference. Like for me, I always remind myself I can never imagine what it would be like to have a mom or a dad be there my whole life until I'm 60 and then one day they're just not there anymore. You've lived your
Hmm.
whole life side by side. I can't imagine how painful that would be. But in turn, people can't imagine how painful it is to lose a parent young before they even see anything, especially for you. I
Hmm.
mean, 5 months old, that is a very unique experience. And this
Hmm.
leads me into my next question of kind of tailoring on this. When you were a kid, did you even really understand or realize that kind of loss yet? Like, when did you really start to be like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have
Yeah.
my mom here?
Yeah.
Because I find as a child, 5 months, of course, you're not realizing anything.
Hmm.
But there comes a point where you start to realize, like, why does everyone else have a mom and not me? Like, what
Hmm.
was that like for you as a child?
Yeah. Yeah. I truthfully probably didn't really recognize it until late elementary, early middle school.
Mm.
Um, I think I most noticed it. I grew up inside the Girl Scouts association here in America, and there's a lot of events around mother-daughter events, mother-daughter date things, mother-daughter organization stuff. I recognized pretty early that mom wasn't there for that stuff, and my dad would show up as much as he could where it was appropriate, and my grandmother who just passed in March too. So I certainly had maternal influence there, but I felt pretty different from pretty early on. I just didn't have the language to understand what was happening, and I didn't actually tend to my grief or understand the depth of its impact until like my mid 20s, probably,
Mm.
which is pretty wild considering I'm 34 years in.
No, but
Um,
I fully agree with you on that too, because I was not, like, I didn't fully understand my grief or the loss of my mom until I was like 25, 26. Like,
mhm,
between 8 and 20, I mean, she was alive, but like, there was no relationship. She
mhm,
didn't live with me. I rarely saw her. She wasn't
mhm,
actively in my life. And all the trauma that occurred when I was 8-ish, 10-ish, 9-ish, like I never dove into. And then when she died, like I went back to school 2 weeks after she died.
mhm,
And seemingly carried on with my regular life. Like I didn't do anything. I didn't do shit. Like
Yeah.
when I look back, I'm like, how in the hell? But that's because, you're so young and you just,
Yeah.
like you said, don't have the language. Even at 20,
Hmm.
I didn't understand.
Yeah.
So it's not a weird, I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. As I mentioned, I'm a clinical therapist. I went to graduate school for social work. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. And I graduated in 2017, so 9 years now. Started practicing in field placement in 2016. And so I had all of this experience in mental health, and some grief here and there because grief is so natural and normal as much as people like to pretend it's not.
Mhm.
And I moved out to New York City, and I remember I started an outpatient clinic mental health position. It was my first job out of grad school, and there was this older woman there, and she was just chatting with me and getting to know me as the new clinician and asking me a little bit of my life story, prying a little bit more than she probably should have. And she learned about, I had also just gone through a very early marriage and divorce. I was divorced at 25. So chic. And so I'm in New York City. I'm at this new job. I'm divorced. My mom died when I was a baby. I'm telling her all this stuff. And she was like, have you ever been in therapy? And at this point, I was 25. And I was like, no, I've never been to therapy a day in my life. And she was like, that's wild.
She's like, how are you standing here alive?
Literally, she was like, how did you make it this far? And I was like, I'm just vibing, man. I definitely should have been in therapy, but and then I started maybe 6 months after that, in
You're
therapy
like,
out in New
oh
York.
crap,
But
I probably should go.
yeah, it's wild. I definitely adopted the archetype of the high achieving daughter,
Mhm.
in early mother loss. I never wanted anyone to think I couldn't do anything because my mom died. And so I that pendulum swung all the way into, you know, honor society, dean's list, graduate school, all of the things. Like I was just a stellar student and never had concerns for anything in that department. But then I was like, damn, I think I need therapy because my life is not all just successes. You know, it's interpersonal relationships, and it's my self concept, it's my self worth, like all of these pieces that mother loss definitely impacted.
Oh, we totally don't feel or recognize. Maybe it's not that we don't feel, it's that we don't acknowledge that it's there.
Hmm.
Because I'm very good at, like, well, I was before my dad died. I was very good at just kind of pushing things to the side. I find also being an only child, a lot is on your shoulders,
Yeah.
and there's no one to share that load with. So you get really, really, really good at carrying
Hmm.
everything on your back. And I think that when that lid pops off, for me, when my dad died, there's no getting it back on now. And now I feel that grief and that loss of my mom. Like, I don't think I've ever actually grieved my mom until my dad died, which felt wild to me. Like, I feel
Hmm.
like most of the time, I actually miss my mom more than my dad, which seems
Hmm.
insane to say.
It's not
Uh,
insane.
it felt insane at the beginning because I was like, who just died?
Yeah.
Also, who do I have more of a relationship with? Like, the memories of my mom before age 8, far and few between.
Hmm.
Like, very minimal memories. And I think a lot of it has to do with, well, A, the age, and then B, again, a lot of trauma happening between 8 and 10, 11.
Hmm.
So that kind of took over.
Hmm.
And that's the thing that, with grief, people drives me a little bit crazy when they're like, oh, think of all the happy memories. Think of it. Girl, I don't have
Piss me off.
happy memories. Like, I have happy pictures, but they're not like active memories
Yeah.
as much as I try. So,
Well,
no.
and it's also very unhelpful because to be in that mindset and to encourage other people to follow that mentality suggests that the person who died was not a fully complex person.
Mhm.
Dying does not make someone a saint. And we do not have to have exclusively positive feelings about our person that died. And it's a weird space to, only think about the positive memories, think about all the good times you had.
Hmm.
But I want to think about all of the pieces. I want to think about all of the things, and I can apply this obviously more to my grandmother than my mom, because I had 34 years with my grandma and she was like mom to me. There were a lot of times where I didn't like her, and her and I did not get along. I mean, she could have been my mom. She was in her 40s when I was born. So we very much had a mother-daughter relationship a lot of my life. I don't have exclusively positive feelings about my grandma. There were a lot of times where I was just like, why would you make choices like that or speak to me like that or ask me that? We had our fights. And I think it's important, just as important, to reflect on those too, because it reminds you that this was a whole multifaceted person who died.
100%. I think that's such an important note to point out because who does have only positive memories with someone that they're that close to?
Hmm.
You can have only positive memories with like a friend or whatever, but they're not in your life from zero to, whenever they pass
Hmm.
every single day. Also, the dynamic of a parental figure and a child, obviously there's going to be tension and conflict. Like
Hmm.
I will never forget the time I tried to run away, aka it was me running around the house away from my dad. And I think back on it and I laugh at that because I'm like, what were we even doing? But like there's those memories that it's like, of course we're gonna butt heads. We're a daughter and a father and an
Hmm.
only daughter.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you're gonna have that with anybody. It's
Hmm.
not gonna be smooth sailing. Um,
Yeah.
do you struggle? Because I know I sometimes struggle with this, even though I have a few active memories, but not like an obscene amount of my mom. Do you struggle with not having any memories with your mom? Is that something that is hard to,
Yeah.
deal with?
I mean, I'd say that is my grief, really, when
No.
you break it down. Only knowing her as a story, I've never seen a moving image of her. I've never heard her voice. She really is just a collection of information from people that know her or knew her.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, not having any of that is kind of like this big empty abyss in my life that, I had people there. Like I said, I had maternal influence. I had both my grandmothers in my life, my whole life, and aunts, but nothing is mom. And so, not having those memories with her, especially now stepping into motherhood myself, while I had my grandmothers to go to, they mothered and parented in a very different time, the 60s, 70s, 80s. It's very different than 2026. I'm kind of working from scratch here on, is this right? Do I say this? Do I do this? Is this the right decision? And I'm kind of just winging it as I go as best as I can.
That's so going to be me as a parent. It's something that I definitely struggle with that concept as well of being like, how do I struggled more when I was in my late 20s, I would say. Now I feel a bit more confident, but I used to always be like, how am I to be a mom when I never really had one?
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't have one actively in my life from age
Mm-hmm.
8. And from what I do remember, it's all negative. So
Mm-hmm.
how am I to, be that person for someone when I never had that? And
Mm-hmm.
so I totally get what you're saying with that. And also, like you said, they're not your mom at the end of the day. They're a grandparent and that's great and they have their own role, but they're still not mom.
Mm-hmm.
And no one can ever replace that. You can try and shove 50 million people into that role and it
Mm-hmm.
will never be mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that I fully understand exactly where you're coming from. And also, it just, it makes me feel more reassured when you're talking about it too, because I'm like, okay, it's the validating
You're not
feeling.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like, I have people, it's like, well, why can't that make me feel better?
Mm-hmm.
I have a group of people who, they're my griefies, we call each other. They're 55 plus. I met them in a grief group last year. Um, and they've all become like I don't know, I wouldn't say moms because I've only known them a year, but
Mm-hmm.
they've become that like elder voice,
Mm-hmm.
that I can rely on.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't, it doesn't fill that gap, right? Of
Hmm.
parents. They're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it. Do you find that with all of that, with losing your mom young, growing up, did you struggle with that attachment issue with people? Yeah, I see that.
Big time.
So fast there, so
Big
fast.
time. When you said, I forget what you had just said, you could try and insert, 50 million different people into that spot and none of them will be mom. And I was like screaming inside of my head. I'm like, I know what that feels like because for me, my dead mom grief, again, I was the overachiever. It didn't show up in self-deprecating actions in that way, but it showed up a lot in self-abandonment and anxious attachment and chronically seeking out relationships that I knew that person would never be able to give me what I needed in a partner.
Mhm.
But it felt safer to be with someone that I knew wasn't for me than to be alone. And and I felt that from very early on. I mean, I started dating when I was like 14. I've been a serial monogamist. This is the longest I've been single in my adult life in the last almost 2 years now. Um, and that's a really, really hard way to live. It is because you're opening that wound up again every single time and pouring salt into it. And unfortunately for me, I'm attracted to men. So also not great times in 2026 of, the
Oh,
people who I have had relationships with and that I've chosen, kind of mirror back those wounds of the subconscious beliefs that you grow up when you've lost mom so early of, even though I know she didn't abandon me because she died in a car accident, still the subconscious thought of you abandoned me, you left me, I wasn't good enough, I wasn't worthy, I wasn't worth staying for, all of those themes, you then start to repeat that in your romantic relationships. So even though this person standing in front of you is like not a great person to choose, or you see signs that, they're not for you, or you should turn away from that person, again, being with them, even knowing those things is more comfortable than being alone. And so you continue to stay in that pattern where yet another person, teaches you a lesson of believing that you're not worthy or you're not worth staying for, you're not worth being loyal to, or whatever it is. Um, but yeah, those attachments, man.
you live rent free in my head because goddamn.
Damn,
Yeah.
for real.
I feel like I struggled a lot when I was like maybe a teenager and not even just like romantic relationships, but like attachments with really anyone who I was like, oh, they give off like, more like loving maternal vibes. And I so badly craved that. I wanted that. And I think I've talked to you about it before, how I think we both agreed on this, that in the show Gilmore Girls, like I always, always dreamed of having a Lorelai, like
Ugh,
after my mom. That was like,
yes.
and still to this day, to be honest, is like my dream of dreams, my wish.
Mhm.
I loved that show so much because that's what I wanted so badly.
Mhm.
Like, I know there was no like present, like, there's Luke as like a father figure and stuff,
Mhm.
but like it was mainly the mother daughter connection. And here I
Mhm.
am with my dad at home being like, screw you, I want like the mother daughter
Same.
connection. Like, I was always like, I have a dad and it's great and I love him, but like,
Yeah.
dads of that generation, and maybe I'm speaking alone here, but not the warmest of nurturers.
You're not speaking alone.
Okay. Like, love him. He
Yes.
was he was an incredible human, but he was never like a father, if that
Mm.
makes sense. Like he was never like very warm, cuddly. He did give good hugs and he was the best friend to everyone. But he
Mhm.
was never I never felt like I had like that warm, cuddly parent who was nurturing.
Mhm.
And that's what
Mhm.
I wanted so badly. And that's
Mhm.
what I saw in Gilmore Girls, which is why it's like my number one show. And I'm
God,
like,
I
why
love
is
that
that
show.
my life?
I just want to live my little East Coast colonial life in a
Right?
Stars Hollow, truthfully.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, my dad loved him down. Like, I never wanted for anything. He is so proud of me. And, we grew up together. He was only 23 when I was born. And, I would do anything for him. And I know he would for me too. And also, and I've said this to him before, very emotionally avoidant person.
Yeah.
Like, does not know, but he's never left a conversation without saying, I love you to me. And every time I see him in person, he always gives me a hug goodbye. And I think obviously because he knows what it means to lose someone, having lost my mom and now his mom. But yeah, it left an impact. And then trying to talk to your father about that of like, hey, Dad, I know that you did everything for me and you loved me and you provided for me and you did all the things that you were supposed to do as a parent, right? But like you still kind of effed me up.
Yeah.
And I need you to hear that and take some accountability for that. Like, so we're at a really interesting point in our relationship now where, I'm 34 and I'm a mom now and he's a grandfather now and he's still so young. I mean, he's only 57, 50, yeah, 57, I think.
Maybe.
Um, so young. Like we have a lot of life together, goddess willing, left. And but we just like fundamentally misunderstand each other and probably will for life. And that's okay.
It is okay. I also feel like dads who have, I mean, maybe any parent, but for my dad, now as an adult, I look at his life and I'm like, God damn, that man had to go through so much shit in the span of such a short amount of time.
Mm,
With my mom getting sick in 2001, to his mom dying that same year, his dad dying the year after, my mom's mom dying the year after that, who my mom's mom was like my and his rock. She was the one with us all the time. I mean, my mom was her only daughter, her baby. She had two sons, but still like that's her baby at the end of the day. So she was
mhm,
there 24/7 with my dad and I. So to lose really his wife, like at the end of the day, he didn't have a partner in the same way. Um, to be a single dad and have all that loss, I look back at that and I'm like, I don't know how that man was still standing. Like, truly, as a teen, I used to always be like, and even in my early 20s, I was always like, why are you not emotionally available? Why are you so closed off? Why are you just like this happy go lucky guy? Like, I need you to be, open your heart a little bit here. Like, be human. And now, since his death, I'm like, oh my God, no wonder he was like that. Like, I think I would be the same way because, ooh, and
mhm,
then at that time, he would have been like, I think when my mom got sick, he was like early 40s, like maybe 43,
mhm,
44, young, very young. You now have this 8-year-old child who you have to, a daughter as well, who you have to raise on your own,
mhm,
to be thrown into that when also mental health and all that still not great for men, but back
mhm,
then, 25
mhm.
years ago, absolutely not,
Non-existent.
non-existent.
Mhm,
Like we're nowhere near where we need to be with that anyways, but 25 years ago, oh,
yeah.
that man was not going anywhere doing anything. Like
Mhm,
not happening. So looking at that and also thinking of your dad too with what he experienced with your mom, I can't imagine going through what they've been through.
mhm. Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. And my dad has his own experience with his upbringing, but he I think it's still difficult for him to understand just the fundamental like child development influence behind it on how my mom's death impacted me. And I mean, quite frankly, yes, he's my parent, and did he hold some responsibility to understand that when I was growing up so he could better support me? Yes. But at this point, it's really null in point. It's just not. it's not purposeful anymore for me. And that's what I work with a lot with my one-to-one clients too, because the story of mom died early, dad stepped in, and I felt zero nurturance from him is like a tale as old as time. It's like Beauty and the Beast. But that's what I talk a lot to my clients about is holding space for both the extreme disappointment and also the acceptance of what is true and what is dad's capacity. What
Hmm.
is he capable of? And meeting him there to say, I'm not going to continue to allow myself to be triggered by this relationship or triggered by the absence of his support and his love and his nurturance because I simply know he is not capable. So this is not a space and a person where I'm going to continue to seek that out from.
100%.
And I can create that in other places.
Who can be so true, which is my favorite saying ever, is that you can, feel for yourself and be like, I deserve that? 100%. Should he have done, his work, his whatever, because he is the parent?
Mm-hmm.
100%. On the flip side, now that you're an adult, like, you make your decision about what you want to receive, not want to receive,
Mm-hmm.
arm's length, and also for the fact that in understanding that they're human too and they lost someone as
Mm-hmm.
well. And I think that's the part that I always didn't really think of, that I was always like, well, I lost my mom. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
he lost his wife. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of that for my dad,
Mm-hmm.
ever. And I
Mm-hmm.
think, as a child, like, that's obviously not what you're thinking of. But now as an adult, I hold so much love and space for both of my parents for what they both had to
Mm-hmm.
go through. And I understand, the dynamics of how they were as humans and how that related to being a parent. And they did the best they could.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that they did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I turned out fine, but they're
Mm-hmm.
still both dead and I'm only 34,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
something went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting that out there.
Yep.
But like, I can understand now as a adult that they did what they could and they
Yeah.
did the best they could, and I have so much love and grace for both of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't take away from me feeling I have so much love for little me who deserved so much better. But
Yeah.
again, I also understand from their perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the thing that people don't think of, is that I can think that little me deserved so much better and I know little me deserved better, but also knowing that humans fuck up. And that goes for parents too.
Every single day.
Every single day.
Every single day.
And
There, even now, I have a he'll be 3 in a week, and I'm just like, there's some things that happen, and I'm like, oh yeah,
that,
you're gonna talk to me about this when you're 15 or whatever, like,
that's
because
coming back.
that, because being a human is complex, and no person has it perfect, whether someone dies or not. And to expect that is just simply delusional, quite frankly. And so I'm leaning more into kind of when you see the notices when you enter national parks, take nothing, leave nothing, just but your footsteps and your tracks. Like I
Mm-hmm.
try to adopt that as much as possible with my child, where I'm not. I'm not taking anything from his identity. I'm not taking anything from his life experiences. And I'm also doing my best not to leave anything there either. That's going to impact him later in life. But at the end of the day, I'm not perfect. And there will be things that, you
Exactly.
know, sit for
It's
him and that
inevitable.
he remembers.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's the thing with being a parent. I mean, I'm not a parent, so can't fully say, but it's inevitable to like screw up your kid some way, somehow. It might be the smallest of things, but like you're
Hmm.
only human at the end of the day. And this is also your first time being a parent ever. Honestly, even if it was like your 12th time having a
Hmm.
child, you'd still screw up in just a
Hmm.
different way.
Each child's
So,
different, yeah.
yeah. How do you find being a parent without your mom? Do you find that in the beginning it was harder, now it's harder, or that it's kind of like those waves of grief where it just there's moments where it really hits you and
Hmm.
then moments where you're like, okay, I got this.
Hmm. Definitely waves for
Yeah.
sure. I remember, fresh postpartum, that's all I wanted to do was be able to call my mom or to go bring my baby to her house and have some reprieve or comfort or just presence. I also live 2 hours away from my family, my dad's family, and 3.5 hours from my mom's family. So those early days, it really just was my son's dad and I and the couple of close friends that I have in my city that I trust. But I was in the trenches. It was hard. And I had a tremendous amount of envy of other women in, mom groups and mom walks that I would join where they're like, oh yeah, grandma's coming to watch baby tonight, or I'm dropping baby off to grandma's house this weekend. And I'm just like, that must be nice. That must be so nice to be able to have that. Um, and then, and then I came out of that. And then as he gets older and starts doing things in school and having things that, grandparents can be a part of, or like music class. I've been taking him to music class since before he turned one. And they have, multiple of the parents have weeks where they'll bring in their parents and both grandma and grandpa are there. And I'm just like, you guys have no idea how fortunate you are. And it sucks, and now I co-parent with his dad. So his dad and I have been separated since, gosh, since my son was like 1.5 before he turned two, and he'll be three. So half his life so far, um, and so that's an added layer of it too. Like when I have my son, it's just me and him. He's an only child. I don't have siblings. He doesn't have any aunts and uncles on my side. He has my couple of very close friends who have been around him since birth, but I am in it alone. I manage a home alone. I manage multiple businesses alone. I have two elder dogs that I care for alone. I'm raising a toddler alone. Like, there's so many moments where I'm like, damn, I just want my mom. I just wish she was here, and this really sucks that I have to do this without her. But then also it's so special too that I get to create this encapsulated experience with my son that's uniquely mine and mine only because there isn't the influence from my mom.
100%. I mean, you are so fucking strong. Holy shit. Like you listing off everything, I'm like, God damn. Like I fully feel when you were talking about the envy, the all the jealousy that comes with
Mm-hmm.
honestly not even just having a kid, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. I see people post about their mom just having lunch. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, it must be nice to be you.
Mm-hmm.
Having a mom to go have
Mm-hmm.
lunch with. Like, how nice of you.
Mm-hmm.
But the child aspect, I know that that's going to be a tough one. Like, my one friend is having a baby, and she sent me the invitation for the baby shower. And at the bottom, you could see like her mom and his mom hosting it. And I was like, whoa, like just feeling the feels because I'm never gonna have that.
Yeah.
And it's a painful reminder. It's a beautiful thing. Like I'm happy for her and everything, but there will always be this other side of me that's like, I wish I had that. And I'm so jealous that I don't get that. So
Mm-hmm.
everything you're talking about with having that newborn, being in the trenches and just wanting your mom at the end of the day, we're just girls who want their moms.
Every day. Mm-hmm.
Truly, every day, every single second of every day. There's not 1 hour that goes by that I don't think of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. It's not like
Yeah.
a negative thing. It's just I love them so much that I think of their smile, or I just am like, oh, like my mom would love this, my dad would love that, or I wish they could see this. It's not, people think of it like it's such a bad thing, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not always sad.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, they would love
Just
what
there.
I'm doing. Yeah, it's just
Mm-hmm.
there. And I can so see how that is just heightened with having a child.
Mm-hmm.
Because here you have this, whole new thing in your life that is meant typically to be shared with your parents, your family,
Mm-hmm.
and there is no one there. Again, as an only child as well, that is something that we also struggle with. There's no biological aunts or uncles for us. There's
Right.
friends, which that's great,
Mm-hmm.
but it's it's not the same thing, you
Yeah.
know? And
It's
that's
not. My son has family, but it's chosen family, you
yeah,
know.
which
Uh,
is great. And
mhm,
also, you know, chosen family, some my chosen family shows up more than my
mhm,
biological family, in all honesty.
same. Yeah.
Um, it's not that I don't love my biological family, I do, but my chosen family has been with me in the trenches
Mhm,
through every step.
mhm,
And I know when I have kids that they're going to be the ones who I probably see more and who my kids probably have a bigger attachment to. And it's
mhm,
just what it is.
mhm.
Um, but that will never take away from wanting, my mom, I think especially when I have a kid, to have my mom there.
Yeah.
Um, I obviously always envisioned my dad to be there, but yeah, wanting your mom is like next level, I think, when it comes to having a
Mhm.
child. And then I'm probably for you could speak on this. Also getting married. Did you find that like touchy? Because for me, weddings is a big absolutely not. Like
Yeah.
I've been with my partner for like I think we're going on 8 years. We almost got married at one point. We've been engaged for like 6 years. But since my dad's death, I'm like, no,
You're
maybe
like,
we're
I'm
gonna
good.
look at it. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Weddings are painful. That's a
Yeah.
painful thought. How is that for you?
Funnily enough, and I think it's because I lost her so early, I just like never really thought about it. It wasn't really a very impactful thing. If anything, the like father-daughter dances always got me more than anything to do with the mother-daughter. Um, and maybe it's because I had both of my grandmothers, so I had the strong maternal influence.
Hmm.
Um, but my wedding, I had the traditional, ceremony, reception, the bus and the photos and all the things. And I remember getting ready at the chapel and in my dress, and my mom's mom came into the room and she just started sobbing, and I was like, you can't do this to me. I'm about to walk down the aisle. And like everyone that was in the room with me, all my friends started crying too. It was a really emotional moment. Because her daughter died at 19, and I don't think that she I don't know what she thought for me for marriage, if marriage was going to happen. I was always a relationship person, but yeah, it was just a really full circle moment. And I know we felt that absence. And then I had a father daughter dance, and then I had a dance with my mom's brother, my godfather. And I was crying, and everyone was crying, because mom should have been there. But in that, I never, again, A, I never wanted anyone to think I couldn't do anything because mom died. But B, I never wanted anyone to think that I couldn't too enjoy these really joyous and special moments because a parent died. That just because she died doesn't mean that I died.
Hmm.
And my life continued on, and I get to do these big things like graduate college multiple times and move to big cities and get married and buy houses and have kids. Like, I get to do these things too. This is my first life in this body, at least at this time in history. And I want to experience all of that. I deserve to do that.
Yeah.
And she, quite frankly, would want that for me too. So,
100%. I love the way you said that. And I love when you say that online, the I didn't die too.
she
Like,
died, I didn't.
yeah, that is a really important note because it sometimes feels, and I feel like for me at least, this can be true that who I was before my dad died, I wouldn't say my mom, but now my dad, that person is completely
Hmm.
changed. Like I am not who I was, and
Correct.
I will never be that person again. But that's
Correct.
because that was in existence with him, you
Hmm.
know? I was who I was because he was still here. And now that he's gone, I am a completely different person, but I'm still alive. Some
Hmm.
days it may not feel like it, but I
Yeah.
am. And I think that that is an important thing to take every single day. And I
Hmm.
love when you share that because it is a reminder that we all need. I mean, I'm only a year and like almost a year and a bit since my dad died. So like we're still fresh. We're
Hmm.
still in the trenches some days.
Hmm.
By some I mean most. And some days it really feels like most of me went with him.
Hmm.
But seeing you post that is always the reminder that I need that
Yeah.
he would want me, and same with my mom, they would both want me to live my life to the fullest. And
Yeah.
it's okay to be sad and to have my moments, but to still, live life and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
As for a wedding, for me, I am not there yet. One day, I
Yeah.
could so see an elopement and then a party. I
Cute.
think, like how you mentioned the father-daughter dance, that for me that's a big thing because the one thing I've had for my wedding has been the song that I would dance with my dad to.
Yeah.
And knowing that I won't have that now is like,
Yeah, that's
that's
hard.
the one.
And you can, however, whenever, if ever that looks for you, you can make that into something important and impactful for you, um, to honor dad or to still celebrate that song in some way, in memory of him. But you make it look however you want to make it look. And quite frankly, whatever. Like it doesn't matter if there's a marriage or not. It doesn't matter if they're like our loved ones and our relationship with them is as alive as we choose it to be.
100%. I feel like, honestly, maybe unpopular opinion, but marriage is just a piece of paper to me.
Yes.
Like, the
I'm
parties,
biased being divorced, but yes.
you're like, yeah, but yes. Um, as we're getting close to the end here, I, how, how do you feel about sharing one of your favorite stories that you were told about your mom? Do we feel good about that?
Yeah.
It's something I love asking
Hmm.
anyone I have on here, or even when I am on here just by myself yapping. I
Hmm.
always love kind of coming to an end and saying like my favorite story of my parent or a time we had together. Truly, I just feel like it makes like the whole conversation, I don't know, end
It
on the
humanizes them.
sweetest. Yeah. And
Hmm.
it just ends on the sweetest note because I don't know, I want to know about your mom. Like, who is she? Who was she? What
Yeah.
was she about? Like,
Yeah.
she was like, what, 19, right?
Literally a child, yes.
A baby. So,
Baby.
but being 19, I feel like that girl was also living her best little wild life
She
because,
was, man. She,
yeah,
my mom, Rosalie Ann Malone, we share the last name, the same last name. She, her birthday is March 21st, so the first day of Aries season.
love.
She's a fiery Italian like myself. She was the tiniest little thing. She was like 5'2", I think, and like 100 pounds. She was super tiny, like complete
Tiny.
opposite of me.
Oh my
Um,
God.
super petite. She had like a size 4 ring finger. She had brown curly hair, naturally tan skin. Like she got all of the best Italian features. I'm so envious of her.
You two look so much
Then she had
alike.
to go and die and take it with her. Like, damn.
You look so much alike, though. Like, I just,
Thank you. We share a lot of the same facial features.
you
Yeah.
do. You're saying, like, oh, she's so different. No, you two look
All
so,
of the other features were so different, but yeah.
for just being human and
Um,
everything. Yeah.
I know that she was in track and she was a baton twirler in
Ooh,
high school, and she was creative. She was a really good student, very smart. She always dreamt of living in Chicago one day, and she's from way up north, northern Michigan, middle of nowhere. Um, and she was a really good singer. Um, and I'd say my favorite story, which kind of sounds a little sad, but it's my favorite because I feel like I possess a lot of her energy.
mhm.
Um, so her father was pretty well estranged from her. My biological grandfather was estranged from her most of her life. Kind of left my grandmother to raise her and her brother kind of solo. So she went most of her youth without him in her life, and on her 18th birthday, this must have been just before she got pregnant with me, because she had me 8 days after she turned 19. So this had to have been right before her 18th. So her 18th birthday, she drove out to her dad's house and she like ripped him a new one. And she was like, "You're a horrible person. And I can't believe that you abandoned grandma, mom. And I never, can I cuss?
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
I never want to fucking see you again. And you're never going to hear from me again." And, dark humor, but then she died like a year later. So she really had the last say, mom.
Yeah, she meant what
She
she
was
said.
like, I meant what the fuck I said.
Yeah, did not stutter. I didn't
Yeah.
stutter when I said you're not going to see me again.
Yeah, and the context behind that is sad. I'm sad for her to not have grown up with her father, but my grandfather was in her life, who I know to be grandpa, was in her life from childhood, and is still with my grandma now. But to know that she went there with conviction, said what she needed to say, doubled down on her feelings, and didn't give a fuck if that was dad or the man down the street. That is so my energy through and through. I say what needs to be said all of the time. And I don't care who it offends or if it offends or whatever. Like, I'm very authentically unhinged in that way. And I think I get a lot of that from her, and I love that I do. And so that's probably my favorite story about her because I think it just marks so much of our shared energy and Aries fire. Like,
So
you're not going to
Aries.
talk to us any kind of way. Ain't happening.
No, no, like I might not be that ballsy, but like if someone like speaks to me just like not in a nice way or whatever, you're done. I just won't talk to you again.
Mhm.
Like bye. Like we're
Oh,
not
say
gonna help you
less.
out,
You'll
but
never hear
like
from me again.
yeah, you'll
Yes.
never hear from me again. Like I
Yeah.
don't know if I'll take it to the extreme
I won't die.
yeah,
Yes.
but like your mom definitely stood her ground. I also just love you saying this story and me constantly remind myself she was only like 18 doing this.
Literally. Like, what?
I'd be
Queen.
terrified
Queen
to see
energy type
her.
shit.
I'd be terrified to see that woman at like 50.
Like, same. That's why I say sometimes I'm like, damn, it's probably a good thing that you died because us as a mother-daughter, either we would be in the worst kind of trouble together or we would be mortal enemies. And I don't think there would be any in between.
I don't think so either. I'd be scared. That'd
Yeah.
be scary. I feel like you would go through waves of being like two peas in a frickin' pod and then also being at each other's throats.
Like, I'm gonna kill
100%.
you. Yes.
Yeah, especially because your age gap also isn't
Yeah.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
19 years. Oh, so, so young. And to
Hmm.
have that much fire within her, again, I wouldn't want to see that lady coming, that 56-year-old lady coming. Nope,
Hell no. Mm-mm.
nope, no
And
thank
just
you.
knowing the family that she did grow up inside of, and my grandmother and what I grew up around, and love her dearly, but she was scary sometimes. And she, you did not mess with Rosemary. And so if that's who my mom came from, and she's an Aries too, like,
She's an Aries too.
way.
Stop.
No, my grandma Rosemary,
Oh,
her birthday is in July. I think she might be a Cancer.
I was gonna say, or she could be a Leo, which is a
I
fire.
don't think so.
Okay.
I gotta double check now that you say that because she might be. She's got a lot. I need to do her birth chart because she definitely has a lot of fire in her. I know that.
I mean, she hit
Um,
two other
but
fires
yeah,
here. Oh my gosh, your mom sounds. She sounds terrifying, yet also like the best time.
yeah,
Like all
yeah.
wrapped up in.
Everyone loved Rosalie. She lit up a room, any room she entered. Everyone loved seeing her. She was just a light in people's lives. And I've had many medium readings in the past like 5 years. But what usually comes through is her energy and just like what a bright light that she is. And the last medium that I met with told me how much my mom is grateful for the amount of people's grief that still feel her absence. And I'm like, that's me type shit for real.
Why is it so Aries being like,
That's
you must be thinking of me.
literally though.
Hello, grieve me,
Like,
miss
main character energy in death.
me.
Yeah, that she's like, she hears all of the mourning still and the grief of her absence in her life, and she like kind of loves that people still feel that for her.
Honestly,
They're like, yeah, I'm my mother's daughter for sure.
I love that for her. And also, at the same time, like, of course, people are still grieving her. She was so freaking young.
Yeah,
Like, we're not
yeah,
talking about like a 95-year-old lady who,
yes,
was ready to just peace
yeah,
out. We're talking
yeah,
about a 19-year-old baby who
yeah,
got barely a toe in the water
yeah,
of
yeah,
life.
yeah. Yeah, she missed out on a lot, but she did and she didn't. I mean, she's been through everything with me, in every chapter of my life. She's living vicariously through me for sure. Um, I just hope that in the next life we get to do it like Earthside for a little longer. That'd be nice.
Oh, I so feel that, especially with my mom mainly. But like, can we please have like a little more than technically
Yeah.
like 8 years
Yeah.
of that? But everyone always tells me about my mom that it's like she must have like knew somewhere in the back of her brain because I was spoiled like no fucking other. Only daughter, and my parents had a miscarriage before and after me.
Mm,
Your girl was the golden egg,
hell yeah.
literally the golden egg. Like, woo. I'd be a little bit scared if my mom like lived throughout my whole life and like what kind of person I'd be now.
I think about that too. Yeah.
I don't know if I would not be obviously who I am now, of course, but I
Yeah.
don't know if I would actually be like a good person. I
Yeah.
truly, because again, only child, only daughter. I was spoiled so much. Like
Hmm.
I like to think I'm like so nice inherently,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Hmm.
I guess the world really was like, you need to be fucking humbled before.
You need this lore.
Apparently,
Bring you back in.
yeah, seriously. Like, let's kill, your mom off, dad off, no siblings. Your closest grandparents also gotta go before you're like 11 years old. Get
Yeah.
out. Like, what the fuck? Which is just
Eliminate the characters. Yeah.
that Aries vibe?
Hmm.
I loved hearing about your mom. I also love the name Rosalie. I just need to
Thank
say,
you.
I think that's such a cute name.
Thank you. Yeah, my son was supposed to be Rosalie. I was so certain I was having a daughter.
Did you find
And
out the
then I had a
gender?
son. What?
Did you find out the gender like when you were pregnant, or
I
did
did,
you?
yeah, because his dad and I did the genetic testing for whatever they test for at
Yeah.
like 20 weeks or something, and yeah, and then she like asked us if we wanted to know, and we did. But yeah, I was certain it was a girl. It was gonna be Rosalie. That would have
How
been the
dare
perfect little cherry on top. But and now I'm definitely a one and done. I'm not having any more children because my child is perfection, and I know every mom feels that way, but my child genuinely is like the kindest, gentlest,
you?
most curious, kind, funny, smart, just like he's a Taurus, but we have the same moon and rising, him and I. We just get each other, and everything has gone so smoothly with him. And I'm like, that would be just my luck that I would have a daughter and she'd be a hellion. So I'm like, no, I'm good actually. I'm good.
Ooh, the universe knew what they were doing when they gave you a son, and if you try to go back in for round two, they're gonna be like, "Well, that's
You're
fine.
like, you sure? We
You want
gave you this. Are you sure? Yeah, no, I'm good.
you want to screw that up? Like, okay, okay, play with fire." And you know that also if you had a girl, it'd be some fire sign.
Oh, for sure. Leo, I was feeling Leo, like Leo energy. And I vibe really well with Leos, like obviously being fire signs, but like some of my best friends are Leos. Shout out Rob in New York, but we're in Philadelphia now. But yeah, Leos, I adore their energy. But yeah, the world will never know. I needed a Taurian male in my life apparently. He
Really,
keeps me grounded.
that was the key. See, it's funny. I cannot picture myself with sons. I
I
can
didn't
only
either.
picture myself. I'm also kind of like, what am I to do with a son?
Same. And you know what you do? You figure it out.
Well, if I
Now
have
I'm
a
super
son,
into trucks and
ooh,
parks and bugs and being outside and whatever he's into. If he likes it, I love it.
I love that. Well, if I have a son, the moment I find out, I'm gonna like, Miranda, help,
Tap me in.
help.
I got it. Put me in coach.
Seriously, you will be getting a call, especially because like I personally want like 3 kids. If I have 3 boys,
Oof.
you
You
may
might stop it too.
yeah, you may need to come to Canada and help rescue me because I will be just like on the
Off the
ground.
walls. A
Um,
son, honestly, is just like the most tender, gentle, loving energy. And like I said, he's classically into the male gendered interests because I don't like to gender children, but he's into those types of things. But sensitively speaking, intuitively speaking, emotionally speaking, he's a very gentle soul. And I just know my mom had some part in handpicking him for me because he just is the best child I could have asked for and truly is my best friend. And I get overwhelmed and overstimulated with him some days because that's parenting a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't trade him for the world. He's everything to me. He's just such a wonderful child.
Your
So
mom definitely did have something to do with that. She's like, ooh, like I dipped out real young. I guess I'll throw you a bone and give you like,
I died early, so I guess I'll give you a really good kid.
yeah, like your best little friend that you've always been waiting for. And
Yes.
oh, sorry about that. It's my like, no, it's a package for you, child. Like,
Yeah.
so, um, before we even go though, because it's just I'm curious about this. How do you? I mean, he is only 3. Do you talk about your mom with him? Like, what is his kind of, I guess, understanding of your mom? Because
Yeah.
at 3, they don't get it, but like you can obviously age appropriately talk about things. How do you manage that with him?
hmm hmm Yeah. She's all over my house in photos, and I've talked to him about her since he was born. And so he knows her as Grandma Rosalie now, and he will on his own go and talk to the photos and say hi to her or good night or miss you, Grandma. And I'm like my heart.
I
This is just so sweet. I'm so happy that I did that. But yeah, I mean, as far as like, I'll share with him, like mommy misses her mommy some days, or mommy misses grandma, and like I said, he's very sensitive, intuitive. He'll quick to say, it's okay, mommy, or he'll mirror the words back to me and say, "Mommy's sad," and I'm like, "Yeah, mommy's sad, but it's okay." I did the same thing with him when my grandma dies, and when my grandma died, and so I'm normalizing death, grief, the absence of someone for him, teaching him that that happens as best as I can. I'll continue to do that as he ages, but Rosalie's very much a part of our house and family, so he knows her.
that will 100% be me too. When I have kids, I'm like making a book, like for sure, for my kids to have, like with
Hmm
pictures of my parents that are just in it that they can have in their room
Yeah.
all the time.
hmm
Because, I mean, like at the end of the day, like these are 2 people, and for you, your mom, and someone so important in your life, and also in shaping who you are today, that
hmm
you want your kids to know. And also, when I think of having kids, I'm like, this is an extension of me and my parents as well, that
hmm
I want my kids to know who my parents are.
Yeah.
So important to me. So I love hearing you talk about that. And when I have kids, I'll definitely be calling you up being like, how did you go about sharing this?
Yeah.
Because you'll be a few years ahead of me.
Yeah. I
I'll be
got
right in there. Be like, hey, what did you do at age 5? What did you do at age 10?
I got you.
I
Yes.
love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing everything and sharing a little piece of Rosalie with us. Oh, before we go, I also have to say your trend of having ordering coffee with your mom's name on it, my life. My favorite thing to do. If you are listening to this podcast, please, for the love of God, try this trend, because I'm not being dramatic by this. It truly means so much to me seeing that coffee with either my mom or my dad's. I've done both, their
hmm
name on it, and I have it beside me the entire day. And I constantly look down at it like, oh, come on, mom. Come on, dad.
Yeah.
There's my little Deb. There's my little Fred. My little Fred Deb coffee. It means so much to me. So
Yeah.
thank you from the bottom of my heart for
You are
introducing.
so welcome. I can't take full credit for it. I learned it from a retreat that I attended a few years back. I guess I was just one of the first people to talk about it as much as I do online, because I know other people do also. It definitely didn't originate with me, but I'm happy that it gained the momentum with me that it did, and it spread far and wide, and people utilize it now because it's
Yeah.
something so simple. I get coffee multiple times a week. It takes 2 seconds,
Mhm.
and even less if you change your name in like your ordering app or whatever, then you don't even have to think about it. It's just done for you already.
Mhm.
But yeah, I remember when my grandma passed away a month ago, the very next day I got coffee with her name on it. And it was a little, oh, like it's hard to see her name on that cup because I know what that means and I know what that represents, and that means she's physically no longer here. But it was really, an important honoring for me, for her to
Love it.
be woven into that ritual too.
Oh, it is so meaningful and it seems so small, like
Hmm.
such a small thing that you wouldn't think would be so impactful. But
Hmm.
for someone who, I don't see my mom, I mean, my mom has a very typical, like, person born in the 60s, 50s named Deborah. Like, I do see that name, but when I see it, I don't always relate it to her because I know it's a
Hmm.
common name. But
Hmm.
getting this coffee, knowing that this is her name,
Hmm.
this is for my Debbie.
Hmm.
That is just something that's so impactful because it's been, 14 years. I mean, since she died, but since I was 8, since I've really seen things that were for her, right?
Hmm.
Like it's so small, but it makes my day in
Hmm.
all the right, beautiful reasons. So
I love that.
thank you so much for sharing that
You
trend.
are so
Like
welcome.
it means the world to me, and I try to do it literally weekly at this rate.
Well,
Like
I love that you do. I love
I switch
seeing them
it up.
every time you share it. It's just so wonderful to see.
I always switch it up between my mom and my dad because, both of them love
They need their
coffee.
attention.
They do. And honestly, when I smell coffee, I'm reminded of my dad in full because this man would wake up at like 5 in the morning every freaking day of my life. And first things first would make coffee.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
instantly think of him. And yeah, at first when I saw it, I was like, oh, like people are gonna call me Fred. Like that's so, what are they gonna think? But I don't even freaking care. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Literally don't fucking care. And
No,
also, you could be buying coffee for your coworker Fred. Nobody knows. Nobody knows who
exactly.
that coffee's for, right?
Also, my name could be Fred.
Your name could be Fred.
I
Who
look like
cares?
Fred. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
2026. Whatever.
Exactly. So thank you so much for that and for also being here, sharing, you know, your story, your life, and most importantly, your mom, Rosalie. Like, it truly means the world to have these connections with people who get it. You're speaking, and I'm like, you're literally in my brain. You live there,
Yeah.
apparently. I didn't know you
Yeah.
had a room in there, but apparently
We're
you
all
did.
thinking the same thing, so I'm just
And
saying them out loud.
you are, and it means the world. So thank you so much for being here with me and
Yeah.
for sharing everything that you did. This was everything. It meant
Thank
so
you
much.
so much for having me.
Uh, I appreciate it. Thank you again, and thank you all for listening. And if you have lost your mom, please go follow my lovely, lovely friend Miranda on Instagram. Are you on Facebook and TikTok
I am
or
on
no?
Facebook and on TikTok, all Dead Mom Therapist.
Okay,
Yes.
so all Dead Mom. I don't think I follow you on TikTok actually.
Much smaller over there.
Yeah, same.
Now, for now, I will
Yeah,
explode.
I don't
Manifesting
really,
that.
I don't really post on TikTok that much, but
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but Instagram's the jam. So please go follow. She honestly has everything dead mother related that will just pull on your heartstring while also making you be like, that is literally me. So thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.